Syria has delayed parliamentary elections, shut schools and cancelled most public events to prevent any spread of the coronavirus. As officials said, the war-ravaged country was still free of the virus despite reports it was hiding cases. The education minister said schools would be closed until April 2nd as authorities monitor for the virus, saying it was not possible for the regime to conceal infections. The health ministry said these steps were precautionary and intended to raise the health sector's readiness to control the virus should it be detected. Pigeons are the only visitors to Erbil's citadel, normally buzzing with tourists, and security forces in masks and gloves have emptied cobblestone streets below as the Iraqi city goes into lockdown. Erbil and the city of Sulaymaniyah, both in Iraq's autonomous Northern Kurdish region, began a 48-hour curfew to combat the spread of the novel coronavirus. Iraq has been particularly worried about a spread of the virus from neighboring Iran, which has been one of the worst hit countries. Italians locked in their homes by the coronavirus outbreak joined together to sing patriotic songs from their balconies, a defiant response to a crisis that has pushed the country's health system to the limit and turned daily life on its head. Videos have been shared on social media of citizens singing and dancing during a nationwide lockdown amid the coronavirus pandemic. Italy's hardest hit area remains the prosperous northern region of Lombardy around the financial capital Milan, but the virus has spread across the country. With the temporary lockdown in the province of El Qatif in eastern Saudi Arabia entering its second week, the situation in the province on the coast of the Arabian Gulf seems ordinary despite concerns of the outbreak of the coronavirus or COVID-19. The medical staff there are working tirelessly, especially in El Qatif Central Hospital, where people infected with the virus are being treated. 2 days ago, a patient who was infected in Iran became the hospital's first patient to recover from the virus. Saudi Arabia's central bank said it had prepared a 50 billion riyal or $13 billion package to help small and medium-sized enterprises cope with the economic impacts of the coronavirus outbreak. The funding from the Saudi Arabian Monetary Authority, or SAMA, is aimed at granting SMEs 6-month deferrals on bank payments, concessional financing and exemptions from the costs of a loan guarantee program. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, with 86 reported infections, said it will suspend all international flights for 2 weeks from Sunday. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights has said at least 384,000 people have died in Syria, including more than 116,000 civilians since the war began in March of 2011. As the war enters its 10th year, the Syrian regime now controls more than 70% of Syrian territory. Despite a ceasefire agreed on March 6 between Turkey and Russia, few believe the Syrian regime will back off its plans to eventually retake the province. Dr. Youssef Al-Uthaymeen, Secretary General of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, or the OIC, reiterated his call for the UN and other international and regional organizations to declare March 15th as the International Day of Solidarity Against Islamophobia. He stressed that the call serves to promote global awareness of the danger of Islamophobia, hatred and intolerance against Muslims. Al-Uthaymeen exhorted the international community to take particular measures to address this phenomenon and to promote tolerance, understanding and peaceful coexistence in the world. Britain renewed its commitment to working to help advance and negotiate a two-state solution that delivers peace for both Israelis and Palestinians. In one of his first meetings with an Arab representative since being appointed as the UK's Joint Minister of State in the Foreign Office and the Department for International Development, James Cleverly met with the head of the Palestinian mission in the UK, Hussam Zomlot. Zomlot said he really appreciated the opportunity to meet the minister early on in his tenure, and their strategy is to enhance bilateral relations so the UK can have a bigger role in the Middle East peace process. The Saudi Sports Ministry announced it was suspending indefinitely events and activities throughout the kingdom due to the coronavirus outbreak. It has also closed sports centres and venues until further notice. The decision is part of the preventive measures aimed at combating the coronavirus and protecting the citizens and residents. The Pentagon said it would keep 2 aircraft carrier task forces in the Gulf region after carrying out strikes in Iraq on 5 depots for Iran's supplied rockets. Central Command Chief General Kenneth McKenzie said the carrier groups would be staying for a sustained period following a series of attacks on U.S. positions in Iraq by Iranian-backed groups that have ratcheted up tensions with Tehran. The strikes by manned aircraft were in retaliation for a Wednesday rocket attack that killed 2 American soldiers and a British soldier at Iraq's Taji Air Base. The Libyan National Army announced its capture of the El Kasarat area south of the capital, Tripoli. In a day of heavy clashes between the LNA and Government of National Accord, the army also declared that it had destroyed a militia weapons cache and detained 3 of its members. It said its artillery units targeted pro-GNA militia positions, including locations from where rockets were being fired arbitrarily at civilian houses in El Hira. Egyptian Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry delivered a message from President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi to French President Emmanuel Macron on the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. Last week, the Egyptian Foreign Minister embarked on a regional and European tour to press his country's case in the dispute with Ethiopia over the Nile Dam. Turkish and Russian troops begins patrolling a key highway in northwest Syria as part of a fragile truce brokered by the countries, Turkey's defense minister said on Friday. Hulusi Akar made the announcement after Turkish and Russian officials ended 4 days of talks in Ankara over the technicalities of the ceasefire reached last week for Syria's Idlib province. Speaking to reporters, Akar said the Russian and Turkish delegations agreed to set up joint coordination centers for Idlib. The minister did not provide further details. Iran said the security forces will clear the streets nationwide within 24 hours so all citizens can be checked for coronavirus, its toughest measure yet to combat the outbreak. The COVID-19 epidemic in Iran, a nation of more than 80 million people, has now claimed over 500 lives and infected more than 11,000. Since it announced the first deaths last month, Iran has shot schools, postponed defense and discouraged travel ahead of Nowruz, the country's New Year holidays. Deputy Head of Sudan's Transitional Military Council, Lieutenant General Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, headed to Cairo for a 2-day official visit at Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's invitation. During his visit, he will discuss bilateral relations and ways of strengthening cooperation between the two countries in various fields, as well as issues of mutual concern.
சகோதர சகோதரிகளே, கொரோனா எனும் புதிய நவீன வைரஸ் இந்த உலகம் முழுவதும் பல்கி பெருகி வியாபித்து இன்று மனித வாழ்க்கைக்கு ஒரு பெரும் அச்சுறுத்தலாக உருவெடுத்திருக்கிறது என்றால் அது மிகையல்ல. எந்த அளவுக்கென்று சொன்னால் முழு உலகத்தையுமே அது பெரும் பீதியிலும் பயத்திலும் ஆழ்த்திவிட்டிருக்கின்றது. ஆனால் இதற்கென்று தீர்வு இல்லையா? உண்டு. அதற்கான தீர்வு முதலில் எம்மிலிருந்து ஆரம்பிக்க வேண்டும். ஏனென்றால் நாம் வாழும் இந்த குவைத் நாடு அனைத்து சுகாதார மருத்துவ உதவிகளையும் இந்த கொடிய நவீன கொரோனா வைரஸ் எமனிடமிருந்து தப்பிப்பதற்கான தேவைகளையும் வழிகாட்டுதல்களையும் தனது நாட்டு குடிமக்களுக்கும் வாழ்வாதாரம் தேடி நாட்டுக்கு வந்திருக்கும் லட்சக்கணக்கான மக்கள்